Hello, everyone. This is Enlightened Living's Truth and Oneness discussion with a Scorpio and an Aquarius. So we come up with just random topics that we want to discuss, and then we put them on this channel, right? Had a short backlog of interesting topics, but they keep getting pushed back because silly stuff keeps coming up in the news. And I think we'll make today a current events discussion yet again. So what's going on right now?
All right, so it is the beginning of June 2020. All right, what is going on now? So the news is like bombarding everybody with fear and like anarchy and chaos because that's just what they want to do to kind of get people all riled up and start battling each other and like lose focus on what's at hand. But here's some of the things that are going on at this given moment. The COVID-19 thing is kind of winding down, so they needed something to amp back up. Then there was some police brutalities, racial shootings, I guess, and now there's protests and riots. So, what the all these things are like, just the typical stage that they set out and lay before people in the media, like covers these things, and people just buy into it like way too much. Like it's things happen, and your reaction to it is like really what counts. And like when you guys are doing exactly what they want you to do, or like they get you ramped up and riled up, and then you start believing and doing all these things, you start manifesting and giving them like your power. Like don't be just doing just because you think someone says or whatever. It's like a lot of the people. The thing. All right, let's start with the COVID-19 thing. All right, there's still people like they. Even if you believed in this whole thing in the beginning, the numbers are way down. Yet people are embracing this quote unquote new norm and just walking around with masks anyway. It's like you guys look ridiculous. It's like even the commercials that they talk about these things. It's not for health. It's not for safety. It's not for anything. It's just like it's they were told you were told
The
to do it.
advertisements for
Yeah, the
masks.
advertisements for masks. Like you were told to do it and you just did it. And then they're like, all right, you don't have to do it anymore, but for safety, if you want, just keep doing it. So people are just gonna keep doing it for some reason, which is insane. You guys look silly, and there's nothing more to it than that. Anything you like to talk about that on this specific one?
Well, I just want to again give people like a timeline sort of thing. So I don't know if it was around maybe it was November through February. If anyone looked up at the sky or observed the skies a lot, you would have seen like tons and tons of chemtrails being pumped out. Pretty much every big city we went to, even smaller towns we went to, there was like daily chemtrails being pumped out. This past probably November, December up until probably January, February. Um, and then the whole COVID-19 was released, and I saw a dramatic decrease in chemtrails. But do you know why, though? It's because they don't have to poison you themselves, because now you're poisoning yourself by walking around with a mask on, right? Wearing a mask all the time, you're limiting your oxygen supply. If you didn't have a respiratory disease before, you're at a higher risk of getting one. If you have a respiratory disease, you're going to make it worse. So you're doing the work for them, basically. For those,
Staying inside, which
you're staying inside, you're practicing social distancing. You're doing the work for them, and that's what they want. And then, like you said, like the whole virus thing is sort of dwindling down a little bit. Of course, everyone and a lot of there's people that aren't obviously still, and I have to applaud those people because it's like I mean, we keep saying, everyone's in the place they need to be, and everyone has to kind of process through this the way they need to. We're all on our own individual journeys. And I still believe that, but I still, because just looking at it, it looks ridiculous. So we have to point it out and talk about it, okay? Just how, and if you're on the fence on any of this stuff, don't fall into the dumbness of it. Don't do it just because other people are doing it or people are telling you to do it. But so the virus starts to die down, or the hype about the virus is starting to quote virus, which it's not a real thing. Anyone listening, starts to die down, and they need something else to ramp everybody up. And so what is going on? It's a whole,
Racial
racial
brutality.
brutality, police killings or whatever. And if you guys look at this, like it's not real, okay? This is more fake news, fake media type thing, but there's some realness to it in that, like, when they see, we've been studying like fake media basically for the last 4 or 5 years. I've never been able to officially say for sure that people aren't harmed in these situations where like there's a killing or whatever. I mean, we already know that human sacrifices go on all the time, right, in this world that we live in. So someone may have actually lost their lives in these cases, but the purpose of it and the reason that this happened is to incite like rage in people. Okay, it's not just like a isolated incidents, but and also look at it too. You have three that happen. Like, isn't that the magic number? Everybody, what is it? Celebrities used to die in groups of three, right? They don't die anymore because no one cares about celebrities right now. So there's like three people that recently were,
And it's always racial.
and it's, of course, it has to be racial because they're trying to like divide and conquer. You know, they already weakened your immune system and made you believe in this whole virus thing, and now they are dividing you more, dividing the world more, trying to, at least, right? And the easiest way to do that is racially, right? Or racial quote, right? Um, and so I forget the names of the people involved.
It doesn't matter.
It's the one where the guy is the what was it, the civil shooting, what was it? What do they call it? Civil arrest?
Oh yeah.
Citizens arrest or whatever.
Citizens
Where
arrest
they
shooting.
killed a guy. And another one with, I forget what it was a
The
well,
cop choking the
the
person.
Floyd guy, and then there's someone else. But basically, yeah, just look at the what do you call it, the codes here. Yeah, it's a group of three. Okay, it's basically all racial, right? White people against black people, right? Killing black people. Um, what else?
There's always excessive force. Is it?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
and so,
It's like
and then they blast it everywhere,
yeah.
and everyone's falling for it. And okay, so I was saying that I can't say 100% that people haven't been harmed or whatever, but I do know that the whole thing is, this is part of their agenda. These riots that are happening, um, they we already know that in big like situations like this, riots and police shootings or school shootings or whatever, like they have actors that come in and do these things. Okay, so these are staged events. These people, the majority of them are actors that are hired, or people hired to come and like destroy shit basically and cause chaos. And yeah, we're buying in. Well, don't buy into it. Let me put it that way. If you have been buying into it, try to refrain from buying into it. Okay.
Yeah, it's like, and they tick those emotional boxes, and that's why a lot of people just believe in it so quickly. They're like, okay, virus. People are scared of being sick, so they're like, all right, check. What do people also like have a potential fear of, like racial discrimination? So like, okay, let's have some police brutality, because that's the worst one, the one that gets people most riled up. White policeman, brown person, brown male is the big one. Okay, check a couple of those boxes. We had to do a couple of those. Excessive force, yeah, people don't like it. People getting ganged up on. All right, let's check those boxes. All right, now that we got people all riled up, let's stir it even more. Let's show like different policies and things that have happened that affect people of the minority group. Let's check those boxes. It's like, all right, now let's have a peaceful protest break out into violence because of like whatever reason, and then have violent acts happening, and then yeah, it's like then now you have riots of people looting. And it's like, as you're saying, it's like there's people paid to do this because this stuff. And there are a lot of people are noticing. Most of these people that are doing this rioting, or they call it quote unquote protests, are not even from their state. Like these people are coming from out of state to come in and destroy stuff, and then they'll just leave.
This is about doing your research about these things, you guys, because if you start doing some research, you can see how fake and staged it is. What was it? The recent what was it? The caravan that was coming up from Mexico or whatever, to come break into the United refugees. Um, Someone did a video on this, and if you look into it a little bit, you can see that that was not a real situation. These people were obviously, if you look at the photos and everything, like it was fake basically. Well, fake in that you get round up a lot of people and give them money and give them whatever and say now walk, you know, and we'll film it. But look into these situations a little bit more before you just believe, and that goes for anything on TV at this point, really, right?
And so now, like, they're also going to the point where, like, these the riots, like, they are trying to push people further because it's like they want people to get involved because they have their own people, but they also want other people to get involved because then you can start manifesting more of this chaos. Like, they literally are like,
That's how you make it real, right?
yeah.
They can hire the actors and like have them run around and break stuff, but it becomes real when like real people start like putting themselves in the situation too.
So it's like, what do they do to make this more real? They attack. That's why a lot of these looting and stuff like that, they're like destroying small businesses. So it's like the real people. Because like big corporations, they could care less if like one of their buildings gets destroyed. They have massive insurance, like giants backing them. They can just rebuild it the next day if they felt like it. But these smaller businesses, like it takes a lot of time, paperwork. Like their stuff gets destroyed. There's a lot of personal invested value into it, so it becomes very real to them, and they're very real to their neighborhoods, and that's why these people are destroying their stuff. And then, of course, now you have other people like these writers and like protesters are like going after things to racially charge it further. Like they're like now sabotaging Confederate statues and monuments, stuff like that. It's like this is history that has like the Confederates. If even if you believe that whole thing in the first place, the Confederates don't live right now. That were a quote like during that. It's like, so why are you gonna go into a place that's been historically like kind of like a part of this culture and history, and you're like, I'm gonna deface it or destroy it. They're trying to make it, and they put it all over the news because they want people to see that. Look, 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 look. Still black versus white, north versus south, east versus west. What, it doesn't matter. Like they are trying to get you to get involved, because if you get involved, they win. And that's why they're doing all this other stuff like hidden in the background, like trying to push voting from home, keep people indoors, because if they have people voting from home and there's no regulation, they control the vote. What does that mean? The person that they hate, like Donald Trump, who is actually trying to help the country, will be voted out very quickly. And not because he was actually really voted out, it's because they control the vote. They're trying to do everything.
And screw around with stuff, obviously, right?
It's like they're trying to pass, and also during a lot of these events, they try passing and pushing regulations that you don't want. And because you're not there to like pay attention, they get away with it. It's like everything is happening because people are allowing it to happen. It's like, and if you play into these things, it stays. It lasts longer. Like people started getting over the whole COVID-19 nonsense, and they're like, why are we doing this? The more people that are asking that question, guess what? It starts to fade away.
And now they have to distract people in other ways. So you don't think about that whole virus thing again. Or you don't think about it. You don't keep looking into it and thinking about it. Investigating it. Now you're distracted by something else. Yeah.
Exactly. And once this starts to fade away, guess what? There might be a resurgence of COVID, or there might be some other event.
Yeah.
They're trying to constantly make you do and think about what's happening, because they're trying to create this passion, this fire in you to be like hate other people.
So think about what's fake happening, not what's really happening.
Yeah, what's fake happening, because it's like they don't want you to actually think about like what's going on. They want you to keep you distracted, kind of like when people binge watch a show, then they're like, oh man, I just sat here for like 8 hours. What did I miss? Imagine missing events, missing things happening for over 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, years. Like you literally have lost yourself when you're just buying into this stuff and like letting the media tell you how to think and live.
Yeah, pretty much. And so don't, as far as like that's all the fake stuff, but then what is the real stuff? Well, the real stuff is like what we keep talking about, bringing up. It's like the consciousness of this world is changing, and it's changing very quickly. And so yeah, they're gonna pull out as many all the stops as they can to like distract people from going in that direction of like conscious awakening or enlightenment, right? But it's moving in that direction, and there's not, well, it's gonna happen. There's gonna be probably people that are stuck along the way, you know, um, but that's what's happening, and part of that is finding out, or understanding what's really happening in this world, like how there's a lot of corruption in obviously the media, politics, Hollywood, medical system, financial system, seeing what's really actually the issues and how corrupt these systems are. The whole human trafficking thing we did a video on last time, like these are real big issues that are attempting to erupt,
Yeah.
into the what do you call it, awareness of humanity or whatnot.
That makes a good point when you think about like these all these like what is one of the things that makes people like lose track of people, keep people indoors, away from each other, don't talk to each other, COVID-19, right? Then you start to have protests and riots. People get lost and hurt during protests and riots, and when people weren't talking to each other before, like they just gave you a big old huge window of times where like people could just disappear and nobody would know a thing about it until like the smoke clears and you're like, whoa, where'd everybody go?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but these things are coming to light, and whether they want it to happen or not, these things are coming to light, and they're gonna do as much as they can to distract people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I
It's like
guess,
don't buy into it.
yeah, I mean, put your energy, like where you put your energy, it really does matter. And you refocus your consciousness, it matters. Try not to put it in a place where it's gonna be like manipulated and used and abused. And literally, you just like not watching TV or just kind of sitting and enjoying your day is all you need to do, at this point, right now at least, to like detach from this stuff, but you can do whatever you want, but don't try not to buy into the fakeness that's going on right now, because that's just going to fuel it, and right, I mean, and then but at the same time, some people need to see this stuff, because being kind of like with the whole virus thing, people needed to kind of probably experience that, and then they would start to investigate and kind of look into it a little bit more and realize that, wait a minute, this doesn't seem quite right. So people kind of have to go through these experiences, I think, to begin to like peel up the layers of their consciousness and kind of realize, wait a minute, we are being lied to. What what's going on
Yeah.
here? But it's I still strongly believe that the world is going in a good direction. It depends on kind of where you're at, where your perception is, if you think it's going downhill or not. Obviously, there's days where I'm like, what the heck, especially when I go into a store and everybody has a mask on. I'm like, wow, these people, they got them. They got all of them. they got
They got George.
they got George. But you just have to take a step back from that and realize that this is humanity growing, okay? Be patient with yourself and with everyone around you, and be kind to each other, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Don't believe BS on TV. Don't get distracted by BS on TV. Real, gonna say real shit. It's gonna hit the fan. Is starting to hit the fan. It's coming up out of the the dungeons, and that's the stuff we need to be paying attention to in order to see that it exists and realize just how corrupt things are, so that it can be sort of let go of, and we can start the new existence of reality
Yeah,
or whatever, right?
absolutely. So you definitely have to try to make sure you stay positive and like away from like that kind of stuff because they want you to manifest it. Just don't do it. Like just continue to be who you are. Be positive. Be aware. Be awake. It's like it's a great place. It's like they just don't want you to see that there's flowers. They want you to just see and smell the rotting fecal matter that's just spread everywhere. It's like the world is beautiful. The world is great. People are wonderful. People are great. They're just trying to stop you from being who you are. And a lot of people right now are like really confused about everything, but in time, it's gonna continue to get better.
Things will become more clear as time goes on.
Absolutely. So it's like stay positive, everybody. You want to end with anything?
I think that's all for today. You know, just we say bear with everything, everyone,
Yeah.
and but don't forget to enjoy enjoy the moments.
Yeah.
I think that's really important right now. Just enjoying the you know
Smell the flowers.
stop and smell the flowers or whatever. Go eat your favorite dinner or make your favorite food. I don't know. Go on a walk, whatever it is you like to do. But yeah.
Yes. Just don't go vape and put a mask on. Just don't do that. All right, everybody.